Okay, this is my audience. Hello, audience.
Hello, Lydia.
All right.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lydia Daroczy, and for my final project for my Communications 102 course, I'm going to talk about forgiveness and your health. Everybody requires forgiveness. If you've ever had any negative interaction with someone, you know that you're going to have to forgive them. They might not ask for it. Most people don't. But in order to live a healthy life, you need to learn to forgive. There are several implications of holding a grudge against another person, both mentally and physically. So I am here to help you with letting go. In order for us to move on, we have to define forgiveness. Dr. Fred Weston of Stanford University Forgiveness Project defined it as peace and understanding that comes from blaming that which has hurt you less, taking life experience less personally, and changing your grievance story. So how does this affect your life? Well, not everybody knows how to truly forgive someone. Think back to a time when you were severely wronged. Think about the person that caused you harm, and imagine that they are standing right next to you. How's your blood pressure? Your heart rate? Do your muscles feel like they're tensing up and getting numb? When you take the time to think about what happened, are you having trouble sleeping, or think that this may happen again? Depending on how recently this event occurred, are you still worried about the implications? These are all signs that you have not forgiven this person. You still hold a grudge, and chances are the other person has no idea that you feel like this. Lucky for you, you're not the only person to think about this. Psychologists have been doing studies of the effects of forgiveness for years, and have also studied the best way to forgive. One such person is Nathaniel Lambert out of Florida State University. 9 out of 10 Americans pray at least some point in their life. And so he decided to study the effects of directed prayer on forgiveness and mental health. In order to be specific, Lambert defined forgiveness as the diminishing of initial negative feelings caused by a single event. The first study he did used two groups of people. The first group took a single prayer directed toward their loved one, and the other group just discussed their relationship with the other person into a paper folder. The results of this showed that the participants in the prayer group had a greater willingness to move on from that event, and then Lambert took this idea and designed a second experiment, the same premise. This time, the participants were asked to pray directly for their loved one or simply reflect on the relationship at least once a day, every day, for 4 weeks. The results showed the participants in the prayer group had an increased confidence in themselves and were much more willing to forgive than the control group. So, why does prayer work? Lambert proposed that directed prayer forces us to turn the resentment that we feel toward our loved one and turn it back on ourselves. And from there, we can acknowledge that we are the only ones that can forgive somebody else. The second person I've already mentioned earlier was Dr. Fred Weston. He headed the Stanford Forgiveness Project. In this project, he focused on 6 separate studies. And from these 6 studies, he came up with 9 steps to true forgiveness. And these are all outlined in more detail in his book, Forgive for Good, a proven prescription for health and happiness. And all of these steps that I list now are taken directly off of his website, learningtoforgive.com. And the steps are, you have to know exactly how you feel about what happened and be able to articulate what you felt was wrong about it. you don't know what's wrong, how can you move on? The second is you have to make a commitment to yourself to feel better. Forgiveness is an internal thing. It's for you. It's not for anybody else. Forgiveness does not necessarily mean reconciliation with the person that hurt you or condoning their actions. What you are after in this process is to find peace with what's happening. You have to get the right perspective on what is happening. Recognize that your primary distress is coming from the hurt feelings, thoughts, and physical upset you are suffering now, not what happened 2 minutes or 10 years ago. At the moment you feel upset, practice a simple stress-relieving technique. Take a deep breath, back away from the situation, realize that you just need to calm yourself down, and soothe your body's fight or flight. Next is you have to give up expecting things from other people or your life that they choose not to give you. You have to put energy into looking for another way to get your positive goals met and through experience that has hurt you. Remember that a life well lived is your best revenge. And amend your grievance story to remind you of the heroic choice to forgive. Only you can forgive somebody. They're not going to ask for it. You have to make that choice. And as you can see, it's in your best interest to do so,